Want a behind-the-scenes look at Five Towns College Radio? Follow us on Snapchat at WFTU Radio.
Everybody talking to Tom? Should we test our audio? Are we good to go? Okay. Everybody?
Good morning, everyone. I'm James Lipton, and welcome to Inside the Actor Studio. Hopefully everyone got that joke here. I'm Peter Stein, co-president of the Social Media Association. Thanks everyone for attending. Again, thank you to Five Towns College for hosting us this morning and their wonderful facilities. Social Media Association, for those of you who have not been here before, we're an organization that has about 6 programs a year. So we're about education, networking, and mentoring. The rest of our program is social events, which we'll have one in December. So hopefully you'll come back. Somebody has they've been here about a year and a half ago. So we hope that you'll visit us more frequently. When Paul introduces himself, I'm sure he'll say something about Long Island Visual Professionals, which is a collaborative event today. I guess before we get started, maybe we could just go around the room quickly and just get a sense of the audience, if you can introduce yourselves. Start.
Okay, I'm Karen Bush. I work at the Knox School. I'm marketing director and in charge of all their social media and all that good stuff.
I'm Kate Kittle. I'm the business division chair here at Five Towns College.
Jennifer Oviedo, and I work at Canva Law, marketing coordinator.
Eddie Marius, I'm marketing assistant at Dallas Erickson.
Marie Marino, I'm with Source Beauty. I'm an account executive.
Larry Drago, marketing professional, currently in transition.
Hi, I'm Linda DeMarco. I was recently with Stickies and
Kayla Deutsch. I am graphic design and social media specialist
For Starfish Junction.
Good morning, Suzanne McGrath, Member Development Manager at the HIALI.
Jackie Nicoforo. I'm Marketing Administrator over at a company called Trius.
I'm Lauren Allen. I'm the Marketing Assistant at Rifkin Radler LLP.
Melissa Gallagher. I am a marketing professional and wellness advocate, and I'm seeking my next career opportunity.
Hi, I'm Ed Krokel. I'm the coordinator of the Music Entertainment Industry Studies program here at Five Towns College.
Hi, good morning. I'm Charmise Woodside Desiree. I'm the Communications Director at the Hofstra University Museum of Art.
Hi, I'm Anthony Provetto, an interactive computer graphics student at Five Towns College.
Good morning. I'm Sharon O'Mara. I'm Communications Director at a matrimonial and family law firm in Great Neck, Wisselman and Associates.
Good morning, Linda Clark, Freelance Creative Director.
Good morning, Daria Martirana. I'm an Assistant Account Executive at Zimmerman Edelson.
Good morning. I'm Jordan Miller. I'm also an Assistant Account Executive at Zimmerman Edelson.
Hi, I'm C. Chris Peters, Principal at Peters Edutainment, mad scientist and writer. Here we go.
Good morning, I'm Andrew Willoughby. I'm a graphic design specialist at Scorpion Digital Marketing.
Thanks, everyone. Now to jump in, I want to introduce our moderator, Beth Granger. She's been a great friend of mine. I was there when she launched her business, and I'm sure everyone that knows Beth is very proud of where her business is today. But Beth is a social media, social selling, and LinkedIn consultant trainer and speaker who works with organizations and small business owners who know they should be using social media to extend their networking, find more prospects, and book more meetings. Beth is the Director of Marketing and Communications on the board of the National Speakers Association, New York Chapter, Secretary on the board of the Social Media Association, and the Board of Directors of Landmark on Main Street, a not-for-profit theater community center. Beth is also the Long Island host of LinkedIn Local, a series of local in-person events being held all over the world designed to let us meet the people behind the profiles. Beth?
And I get to introduce you to our amazing panel. I do have some notes so I don't forget all the things that I want to say. All right. Paul Escape, who some of you know and have met, has 30-plus years in the field of 3D animation, servicing the advertising and broadcast TV fields with clients such as HBO, Ray Advertising, MSG Network, CBS Sports. Starting in 1994, he began writing curriculum and teaching in
I feel like piano. I can change.
higher education at NYU, St. John's, Stony Brook, and Hofstra. He's been invited to lecture internationally in Taiwan, China, London, Jamaica, and South Africa. In 2016, he helped write an innovative BFA degree in interactive computer graphics right here at Five Towns College. And after New York State approval in 2017, he's the first cohort of students just started. And he is the chairman. It's very exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. Can I just point out one student who didn't introduce himself, James, sitting on the floor now?
Hi, James.
And I got Anthony introduced himself. He's another one of our freshman students.
Exciting.
Okay.
Hillary Topper didn't say this in what I have here in her file, but she's actually the founder of the Social Media Association. We wouldn't be here if she hadn't started it. She is the CEO of HJMT Public Relations, a full-service PR and social media firm. She's a Hofstra University adjunct professor, blogger, and podcaster. She has her own media company. Oh, she did say she was a founder. And she also is quite the triathlete, if I recall. It's pretty impressive. So thank you for being here. Christine Samarco is a senior account executive at Zimmerman Edelson, where we all know that one of the principals mother was my junior high school teacher. As a senior account executive, she's responsible for working with clients ranging from the nonprofit to the entertainment industry. She provides personalized, one-on-one approach to her client work in order to develop new initiatives that enhance and enrich accounts. In 2018, she was recognized as one of Long Island's 30 under 30 by the Huntington Township Chamber of Commerce. Outside of Zimmerman Edelson, she sits on the board of directors for PRPLI, the largest, most established organization for communications professionals in the region. She is the co-chair of Public Relations and Social Media Committee and the Young Professionals Committee. And Donna Rivera Downey is the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer for the Girl Scouts of Nassau County. But she didn't bring us any cookies.
It's not cookies.
She leads all areas of marketing for Girl Scouts, from print to web to special events, and maintains direct connections to girls in Girl Scouting through her management of the Girl Scouts of Nassau County Chorus, Media Girls, and Ceremonial Unit. She was an early adopter of social media to connect with Girl Scout families, volunteers, and alums. She is a longtime member of PRPLI, currently serving as president. In 2015, she was awarded the Outstanding Mentor Award, and she's the past co-president of the Social Media Association and currently our co-treasurer. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So we're talking about visuals today, and we're very visual creatures, right? Everything from early on when we had to see if berries were poisonous to now, visuals have such power. Let's start with a question for each of you. What do you think about visuals makes them so powerful for social media?
Who would like to go first?
Well, I think it has to do with, it starts with the photo. You know, when you're talking about visuals, and I always think of Instagram, and excuse me, I have a cold, so I'm a little bit nasally over here. But anyway, it starts with the photo. You know, you've got to have a great image. I mean, that's, I think, is the core of it. You know, so for me, you know, it's not just going out and snapping photos with your iPhone. You really need a good camera to capture that image quality. If you use your iPhone, then using, you know, certain tools like Canva or Picmonkey to try to, you know, adjust the image, that helps a lot.
I think another reason visuals are so well used on social media is because as consumers, we process visuals a lot better than we do with text. So it just gets your message to people by seeing something rather than having to read.
The other thing about visuals is that we are a society of speed, and we no longer want to read a long paragraph or take the time to learn as much as we have in the past. And so the visual helps. It moves us to an understanding of a concept or a place or whatever without us having to spend as much time. We're all time deprived at this point in time, I think, in our lives.
I would pick up on what you said, Donna. I look at visuals. I've been a 3D animator my whole career. I worked in advertising and television. And when people ask me what I do, as I say, I create eye candy. And, you know, eye candy, even though it's kind of self-deprecating, but in a way, what we're really doing is we're talking about emotions, right? How do you get someone to evoke an emotion? And the easiest way and the quickest way to plant that seed, that you know, what little bit of understanding we have in the millisecond that someone's swiping up your feed, right, is a visual. And that's why I think, you know, video and all these new forms of social media posts that are coming out, the stories, which I still don't understand, really make a huge difference because they're getting us to emote, they're getting us to feel something.
And I was going to say something about that, you know, visuals aren't just flat photos. Visuals now are video and some other things that we're going to talk about. And they really all tell a story, right? Even if it's a 1-second story, who doesn't capture
But
that.
it's also the content too underneath the actual image. I mean, I've noticed that, you know, through my research, that when people talk about the image, they get much more engagement than when they just post an image with maybe one hashtag. So
That's a good point. Yeah.
Good point.
So here's, tell me, each of you, what types of visuals, whether it's infographics or photos or video, whatever it might be, what do you see being successful right now, and what do you see being successful in the future?
I see a lot of success with infographics. We do a lot of breaking down the numbers or the statistics into visual infographics. I also think that any motion image is much more successful today than a static images. So I think that's really important, that you have the ability to provide a movie, a video, something that's going to move a little bit. You know, even Boomerang, just utilizing Boomerang for that 10 seconds or whatever it is, makes a difference in the way an image is accepted or responded to. I don't know where it's going to go next. It's ever changing, and it's very hard to figure out which one is going to be the next success. I don't know, maybe Paul has a better idea about it.
Well, I think it has to do with the demographic of who you're going after.
Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish? You know, I've run a successful 3D animation company since 2017, and you know, I started off on LinkedIn. I did my Facebook, I did my Twitter, and to be honest, I didn't get much engagement, right? Unless you do the pay to play, which you know you can do a higher reach, but still no real actionable clients. Instagram was a game changer, an instant game changer, instant game changer.
And Instagram is an instant
Look
game
at
changer.
that. Hey, I gotta remember that, an insta changer. Yeah, I'll wear a sign over there. I'm an insta changer. So anyway. Maybe because it's the field I'm in, it's all about visuals, it's all about animation. Instagram, you know, people use it differently because they're not looking at, you know, oh, this person just had a birthday party, or they're not looking at your personal life. They're looking at, you know, things that you are creating. It just seems to be used differently. And I think their algorithm, which they're still tweaking, sometimes it's getting worse, sometimes it's getting better. But the amount of hashtags that you can put into an Instagram post lets you have a much broader organic reach. And I've gotten clients that have contacted me based on the work that they've seen. And now I'm kind of switching over to the new program here at Five Towns in computer graphics. And just by changing my hashtags, I can already see I'm starting to get different followers.
What Paul was saying, you know, I think it's important, first off, to develop a strategic plan. Then figure out or at the same time, figure out who your buyers are, who your consumers are, what's your consumer persona, and then develop those images and videos or what have you to engage those people. What the trends are right now are influencers. Every brand is going after influencers right now. I've been an influencer for a couple of different brands, including Belega Socks. And what we do is we develop content for the brands. We develop video for the brands. And those that number one helps the brand because it helps them recruit more followers and engagement and consumers. And for us, it helps us, you know, develop our own personas. So I think, you know, so in terms of what direction we're going, absolutely, more and more brands are going in the influencer space. The other thing that's happening is augmented reality, and Paul could talk a little bit about that as well. But that's where it's going. I mean, and you already see it, like with Instagram or Facebook. you see people already doing that, or even with emojis. I mean, they're not going anywhere. I thought that they were just a fad in the beginning, but they're not going anywhere. They're getting bigger, and people are putting them on comments and that type of thing. So, so it's a whole, again, strategic plan that we put together.
I think if you don't plan your posts or your strategy, and it needs to be, I mean, Instagram may work really well for Paul in his professionally, but he still needed to have a LinkedIn page and a Facebook page, because people are going to go between those to see, oh, I love this image, who is this person? Now let me find out more about him and see what he's about. I think all of us have to understand that not one platform is going to do the job for you, that you have to be flexible in the use of the imagery, but also in telling the story. For us, telling the story is having the girl or the parent or the volunteer tell us their story, and getting them to share and to send us their images. One of the things that we work very hard at is we can't be at every Girl Scout troop meeting, we can't be at every Girl Scout trip, we can't, it's just impossible. But we can look for our own influencers and or our own source of imagery from our troop leaders and our parents and all. And they love, 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 love being able to post their pictures on our page or send them to us and see their girls on our pages. It's that 5 minutes of celebrity, or whatever you want to call it, or however it lasts on where you are. But it's also the fact that they are telling us their story. And I think everything is about the story. And I think you have to coordinate that story for the different venues that you're using, the different platforms that you're using. If you don't do that, the same story looks differently. If you look at our social media pages, our stories look differently on the different platforms that we use, but yet we may be using the same image, or we may be using a different opportunity to tell that story.
To go off of what Donna's saying, we're definitely in the business of storytelling. Over the last 2 or 3 years, we've gone from just telling a story through press releases to really, I'm definitely a producer and a director as part of my career now. Right now, a lot of the way we're doing that is with video content. That's largely taking over Facebook at the moment. By next year, I'm sure the percentage is going to be 70 to 80% at least. And it's really all about storytelling is a very interactive thing, and I think that's what consumers love, is to use interactive material. That's what if there's a good story, whether it's a positive story, you share that, or if it's a very negative story, you share that because it evokes an emotion in you to get some type of response. So we can do something positive, such as with Girl Scouts, or something if you're working with a school district where there's a bond that needs to pass, and you show people this is the current condition of this. That's another way to evoke an emotion, to really get content that people relate to. As far as where I see things going, Hillary was saying it's all about influencers. That is a huge thing. And one way that influencers are really being used even more is through Snapchat and Instagram are really evolving with how they're using augmented reality with their new e-commerce and things like that, where you'll now be able to have an influencer using something and right away be able to shop for that yourself. So I think we're definitely going to continue going in the direction where we're becoming more and more interactive with the end user.
Christine, when you work with your influencers, how much leeway do you give them, or how much do you control the type of things that they share and what it looks like, and do you have to review it?
We really have a great base of influencers that we use with. We work with a lot of mommy bloggers, so we know what we're looking for, but it's completely up to them, because it's not that we're asking them to do things a certain way. It's really we're using them and their own brand to reach people that follow their audience. That's who we're going after. So we don't, write content for them. We really go to them and say, you're excellent at what you do. Here's what we're looking for. And it's a win-win for both of us. And they really appreciate the content as well.
I think with some of the brands, most of the brands, they provide content to the influencers, but also encourage the influencers to create their own content. For example, I'll go back to Belega Socks. So they'll send us information that they want us to help put out to our communities. Sure. But then they say to us, we want to do a contest and we want you to do a video on these new endurance socks that we just put out, right? And we all did. We all put out this video, and each video was better than the next. And they took all of this content and they've been using this on their social. So it really helps them with their social, get the word out there about these brands.
I'd like to add, I want to just say a short little story. I have two kids, they're both in different fields. One of them creates custom snowboards. And I've been begging them, you got to get on social, got to get on social. And I said, you got to increase your followers. That's the trick to the game. And she doesn't. Her followers, I think, are under 500. But what she does, and this is something maybe we could all learn from, and I'm actually doing this now too, is she's tagging companies, right? So, you can put an @ symbol on an Instagram and you can tag different companies. Like in her case, there's different types of machinery that she uses, different types of lacquers and stuff, and these companies are watching her. And so she's actually becoming, I guess they call her a micro-influencer, because even though she doesn't have a huge following list, all her posts are very visually engaging. She puts a GoPro while she's working. And now these companies are reaching out to her. They're sending her equipment.
I don't think it's nothing else. I think you need to do video, and it doesn't have to be long, professionally produced video. It can be 30 seconds on an iPhone or on another type of video camera that you can easily convert. But I do think you need to be doing video and I think if you can have somebody doing the video and taking photographs at the same time during that video shoot or whatever the opportunity is, you're likely to have the ability to provide more imagery for your sites and use it differently, and I think that's the way you do it nowadays. You don't do it just...
I agree. Stories, then maybe it's not going to work. For me, I love Instagram stories, that's something that I thrive on. Like I go and I find myself just during the day taking pictures of my office or taking pictures of different things to create stories. I'm constantly creating content. I think as PR professionals, that's what we do. We create content and we do it. This is what we do. And we've been doing this for years. It's not like it's a new thing. It's just now we have a new place to put it.
But even if you think about the traditional methods that we use in PR, like a press release, when I first started in this business, we sent out a press release. It was a series of words on a piece of paper and it went to every media outlet. Now, we never send out a press release unless we can provide an image in some way. And at times, I have to struggle to find an image that meets the needs of that press release. But yet, if you send the image, it's likely to get picked up. It's not like the words are as, and that may be a sad commentary on our world today, that the words don't mean anything half the time, but the imagery has got to be there. It really does. We had a request the other day. We had sent a press release about an opportunity that we have with the New York Jets. The newspaper came back and said, don't you have an image of the girls at the Jets game or whatever? We had to dig around. We found one, but it was a new opportunity for us. So those are the kinds of things that you have to do, I think.
Yes, newspapers definitely look for that image to grab attention. Looking at the numbers, it's a very effective tool. It all goes back to deciding what your goal is. It's all about the strategy. Maybe a press release is the best way to get what you're doing out. It might not be video. It depends on, you have to first decide what is my goal, who is my audience? Is it media? Is it consumers? you have to answer those questions before saying video is a one-size-fits-all for everybody in our industry at the moment.
So in your planning process, you have a new account or you're doing a new campaign. Tell me about your process for getting to the visual. So you're talking about who you're trying to reach and what you're trying to accomplish. When does the conversation about visuals happen? And how does that?
Well, in my world, it happens really at the very start almost. You know what? If we're having a girl event of some sort and we want to publicize it out to our membership, we're thinking about what is that going to look like to the girl? So is the location going to be an indoor or an outdoor location? Are we going to have different opportunities for the girls to sample? Do we have images of the girls doing some of the things that are planned? You know, so for instance, if our robotics teams are going to be at this event, we have images of the robotics team, or we have video of the robotics team doing their thing. So we begin to look at it in terms of what's in our library right now, and then we say, okay, we have to go out and either design something, and it could be a graphic design of some sort where we take an image and words, or we make something, or we say we need to stage something so that people understand what's going on. I think that and then the next step of that is, okay, now we have this imagery, where are we going to use it, how are we going to use it, how often are we going to use it, all of that goes into the planning stage as well. And I think you have to start talking about that almost immediately as well.
What I would, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to agree with Paul and Donna on this one because but you had said, well, you were talking about tagging before earlier. You were talking about tagging companies, right? Mm-hmm. And it's all about that. And what I was going to say is that we represent a catering company, and they want to reach special event people or event planners or people like that who are going to use their services. So then we take it from there. Okay, now we know who our audience is. Let's take a step back. Let's, again, look at the inventory, see what we have, see what we need, and come up with a whole plan and a whole, campaign to target those event planners. Using hashtags, tagging certain people, looking for influencers who talk about, parties in the Hamptons or parties in Manhattan or what have you, and that type of thing. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm glad you're agreeing with me. I don't, it's interesting. I'm listening to what everybody's saying about, process and planning things out. When it comes to social media, and this is kind of the advice I give to a lot of people, I don't think much about the actual planning. I think about the accumulation of content. So, we're all busy, we all have things to do, we're running our lives, we're doing different things. Just take pictures, just take videos, and don't worry about the social media. Again, I'll go back to my kids, and I did that for a year. I told them, forget about social media, don't start your Instagram account, just whatever you do, start shooting and accumulate a wealth of content. And then when it comes to, what you want to go for in terms of a particular strategy or a particular demographic, whatever, then you have a lot to choose from. And also I think, and this really isn't part of the question, but I think consistency is the key in social media. I don't think you can go, dead in your feed for longer than a few days where you'll start seeing a lot of your people, stop watching. I think it probably has to do with the algorithms and the amount of, likes or whatever they do, whatever social media platform you're using. But if you don't stay on there, at least I try to do every day an Instagram post. But if you skip a couple of days, I've noticed my numbers go down, my analytics go down.
In your department, I know it's new, but do you have the students work on things just because it's interesting and they want to, or do you come up with, here's the client and here?
Oh, I want to take the fifth on that one. No, it's a great question. So, you know, obviously, students come first, and the goals of the program is to create, you know, creative people with the right skill sets. But I'm always in the back of my mind thinking, okay, you know, here's an assignment. How can I use this for a social media post? I mean, that is always in the back of my mind, but I don't use that to decide what the assignment should be.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you. Just to let you know, a little later on, before the Q&A, Paul is going to do a demo of some interesting technology for us, so I'm excited about that. I won't tell you what it is until it's time.
We're doing on time. Good? Yeah.
So Hillary started talking a little bit about tools and cameras and things like that. I'd love to hear about your favorite physical tools and your favorite apps or platforms for either creating visuals, augmenting visuals. Do you have some favorite things that people might want to check out?
Well, because of the need to be on site to a lot of things, I mean, we have a good digital camera that we take with us everywhere we go, but we also bring our iPads and our iPhones with us, and that allows us to do a boomerang post. That allows us to do a little bit of Facebook Live. By having those additional tools with us, it seems to make it easier, more spontaneous, so that if you find a really great activity going on, or it's so cute, this little daisy or whatever is, we can think of many instances where you have these cute little girls that you say, oh, wouldn't she look great on Instagram? Wouldn't she look great on social? Oh, look what she's doing, it's really adorable. We can capture it immediately, and we can share it immediately. Then we can take that picture back with us and then hone it so that we use it on a printed piece of material that we're going to use, or or just make the whole campaign about this one image. And that's how we do it. What we have begun to do is we've invested in things like an underwater camera, so that we can get a different type of visual when we're out at camp or when the girls are near the water. We've invested in some digital. For years, we used flip cameras. You remember the flip camera? It still works. I will tell you, you can still use them. They're not great, but that was like a miracle invention for us, because it wasn't expensive, it was handheld, and we could get everything done. Now there are other types of cameras that you can do that with. We haven't gone into GoPro yet. That's an interesting concept. We just haven't invested in that yet. I don't know that I absolutely want the parents to see them climbing the rocks, or it's a little scary sometimes to people, but yeah.
I like using Canva. I've been using Canva now for a couple of months. And
what is it?
Canva is a tool. It's a free tool that you can use. You download it, and you could write on top of photographs, or create different types of photographs. Using different images, pieces of different images and that type of thing, and really create some type of a collage. Or so I've been using that a lot. I've been using those. So Canva, I would say, is a great tool. Again, when you're working on social media or blogs, you really need to be able to resize your photos. So I like to use Picmonkey. That's another free tool. There's a bunch. I mean, there's so many different apps out there. PicStitch. I mean, there's a million of them.
I will add to that so part of, I think, these apps and platforms like Canva has to do with the speed at which things are moving. So it used to be, you'd go to your graphic designer, you'd say, here's what we're doing, give me 3 ideas. Well, you can't do that anymore, because you're taking the photo and posting practically at the same time. So it does allow for certain things, for for it to be much quicker.
It's also, you also find now on the platforms themselves, they're giving you some of those tools in themselves, that you can resize a picture, that you can add words to it. You know, it may not be as good as this app is, but at least you have that tool with you when you're in a hurry to do things.
I mean, the only time that it becomes really an issue is with the blogs, because your blog speed is vital. You know, if it's not fast enough, if you're loading up too big of photos, which I tell you, I am definitely at fault because I've done that, you know, but it slows it down, you know, so you want to make sure that it speeds it up. And, you know, and blogs too are a relevant part of visuals, you know, where you can't just write a blog anymore. It's got to have a lot of pictures in it, you know, it's got to be engaging, you know, you've got to try to get people to talk about your content and that type of thing.
I'll give you an app that, you know, you probably don't associate with social media at all, but I find it to be the most useful tool when it comes to Instagram. I can't see you guys because there's no lights on, but is everybody familiar with a program called Evernote? Okay, it's been around forever. I've been on it probably for the last 6 years, and it's a way of just basically accumulating notes. There's it's like before Google Drive was out. It's like a Google Drive almost, except it's more about text. It allows you to throw emails together and merge them and then type over them to keep track of things. But that's not why I mentioned it for social media. What I do is I have a notebook in my Evernote, and I actually have it. I have one page dedicated on my Android, and in there are hashtags, just notes and notes and notes of different hashtags. And what I'll do is when I post something, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not the fastest typer, and it's really embarrassing if I'm in front of a large group of people and I start typing to do a social post, right? So instead, what I do is I'll come up with a series of hashtags, and there's another app I use, and these are free, and I'm hoping everybody uses these. Hashtaggers are, you know, they're numerous, and it basically trolls Instagram. And you type in a word, type in computer graphics, it'll give you the top 27 hashtags for that one. So I'll copy that into Evernote, keep it there, and I'll put that on a post. I'll post something up, see if it works, check my analytics, say, you know, it's not quite working. Copy that note and then start editing it. And I have like probably 50 or 60 copied Evernote little things that I can go in there and copy, select all, and put into my social media posts. And it's quick and it's easy, and you can use it with your analytics to change those hashtags.
For me, I think everybody touched on the big ones. Definitely my iPhone is the #1 thing to use. I can be a photographer and a graphic designer all in one place, which is great when you're on the go. A DSLR camera is definitely important too. That really enhances the photo quality, and now you can have a great one where you can do video as well, which is great, especially with Wi-Fi enabled, because that speeds up the entire process if I'm in the field and have to get something uploaded quickly. GoPro is another interesting tool to use if you want firsthand experiences, maybe not with Girl Scouts rock climbing, but there's definitely interesting things we've done with GoPro. The only other thing we haven't touched on, I love Canva as well as far as free apps to use. Maybe Afterlight is an app to use you can set presets for your images. That's really important. I think one thing we have to think as content developers is to have a certain aesthetic for your brand, and that's a major thing that a lot of influencers use. They have certain presets that they save, and every post that they put up has that certain same filter, and it really creates a a concise look for their brand. So that's another thing that I would suggest as a good tool to use.
You know, what's interesting, and thank you for bringing that up about different filters, is that, you know, if you look at some of the more popular people on Instagram, you'll see that they really look at each and every photo and how it looks on the page, right? And there are some where they're, you know, the first 6 or 9 pictures will have like a pink hue, and then they'll have a blue hue, and then they'll have a yellow hue. You know, you've seen that, or you've seen, you know, people, you know, making sure that each photo or every other photo is something else, you know? I mean, for me, I always do my signature poses, you guys know. So I have that as, you know, either like my 3rd or my 6th time in Instagram. You'll see that there's like a little bit of a consistency there. So.
That's great. So some tools that I think can be very helpful. When they first put allowed you to put video on LinkedIn, the first video I saw was the CEO of LinkedIn walking across the campus in California talking. Somebody was obviously holding a video camera. And so it was steady. They had some kind of a steady cam thing going on. But the sound quality, horrible, horrible. I didn't, but I wanted to type in, you know, get a one of those fuzzy things you put over a windshield or something. So there's some really inexpensive tools that can help you with video, whether it's a Bluetooth remote or clicker, or a sound shield, things like that. Even a portable light that you can attach to your phone.
Right.
So there's some, and they're not expensive, and it can really help.
I don't want to interrupt, but one of my students in school came up with a brilliant idea. You know that on your iPhone, it comes with the headphones? Well, he used those headphones as a microphone for his video. He like attached it, you know, in a spot, and I thought that was brilliant. It was such a good idea, and it worked great. You know, kind of blocked out that white noise that you hear, you know, when you're filming.
Can I say something too? Please. I think it's great that we all come up with these tricks and we do these things ourselves, but don't forget about the people, the professionals out there, right? I mean, I think having mobile phones, taking video, but if you got some serious content that you want to shoot, you want to get the audio right, you want to get the lighting right, you want to do a right kind of event, you know, we're all appreciative that these things are now in the hands of everybody. I don't know if you remember in the days when the Macs came out and everybody started creating their own newsletters, but then we had thousands of horrible looking newsletters because no one was a graphic designer. So just remember, we have graphic designers, we have, you know, these professional people that are out there for gigs, and you should take advantage of those.
I would definitely add on that.
When you want really high quality content with the right audio, I had to put that plug in because I'm one of those guys.
Our best secret weapon are our strategic partners who are professionals in that. So we can definitely create our makeshift camera bags with the right equipment, but when it comes to doing really good content, we definitely call on the pros.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. I think it depends on what you're doing. Yeah. You know, I mean, if you want something really raw and authentic, that you can control, do it yourself. If you want something that's polished and that is very professional and that we can, you know, send out to your prospective clients, go the route of a videographer. And I also have a couple of videographers that work for me exclusively. So.
And I think that's a great point. So do you agree, or do you think there's some other way to think about this, that for live video or something that's spontaneous, people don't expect it to be as polished, but if it's going to be, for instance, on your website, on the homepage, right, it needs to be more professional, unless that's not your image. You know,
but it's also, this year we did a series of videos with Christina's help, Christina's company's help, on our Girl Scout cookie boxes. The Girl Scout cookie boxes today have, we have 5 boxes that have girls from Nassau County on it, and we did that photo shoot, you know, back in 2011. So now they're grown up almost, some of the girls. Some of the girls were daisies when they went on the box, little girls, and now they're in high school, or we have the ones who graduated. So we did a Where Are They Now series. And that wasn't a series that I was gonna do with my iPad and my video, you know, my tools. We hired a professional to come in and do that. And then we posted those on our YouTube channel, and we shared them on our social sites, and we put it on our website. And then we've boosted them, and it got much more, it was much more effective for us to use that kind of professionally produced materials than to do it on our own. And you know, you have to make a decision. You have to choose. You know, the spontaneity of being out there and being able to do it is wonderful, but at the same time, you do have to plan a little bit, and you do have to script, and you do have to, you know, provide. When we want to talk about our family campaign, or family partnership, which is a fundraising activity, we're not going to do an impromptu event, to video. We're going to do a polished video. We want it to appeal. We want the story to come through. It's a matter of knowing what the audience is and how you want to use the material. Right. I think if you don't know that, if you just then you have to rethink it. I mean, it's always, you know, about
sometimes you know, you might want to use Facebook Live if you're having a press conference, or if you're having some breaking announcement, and you know, you can't get a videographer right now. You know, at that point. You know, I mean, it just may make sense. So, I mean, they're different, it depends.
What was interesting with that campaign that we did is I was looking at the insights for the analytics, and so many users responded and really started to re-engage with the page even after the final video was posted. It created a new life for the page, and so many people started to really share the content, which is what you want, because they related to it. They supported the girls on the cookie boxes, whether they knew them or just were interested that these girls came from Nassau County. So if you do invest in something like that, I mean, we really saw numbers that supported that this was a worthwhile thing to do. So
I just wanted to add, actually, just because you mentioned Facebook Live, this is supposed to be Facebook Live broadcast, by the way. I keep being rude and looking at my phone. I'm not sure if it's actually going out live right now, but it will be. So I will, maybe during FAQ, give you a quick way to go find it if you want to see this whole video and share it with people, what we did today.
So this question is for everyone, but mainly you. Mainly you. Talk about, so they might not be ready for prime time yet, everyone's not going to be using them. What things do you see that are coming our way that we'll be able to explore?
Thank you. There you go. Okay, can we do this?
Sure.
Okay, so maybe we could, no, not the demo yet, but if we could just have house lights a little bit. I don't know if you guys have your if you have your mobile phones with you, but if you go into Facebook and go into the search engine, I'll show you the future. I'll show you one of the cool new formats that Facebook supports. So up in the search, if you type in @ICGFTC and then hit search, you should see you'll see a little winky eye of me. If you click that, and if you go to posts is the second one. I'll show you something. I did one for 5 towns. I also did one for, well, we'll just look at the 5 towns. I did one for SMA too. So does everybody see this post?
It's moving, yep.
Yeah, this is a brand new format that Facebook supports. It's live 3-dimensional objects on your phone. And what's happening is you can use your finger to scroll it around. I don't know if we want to get a close-up of the phone, or does everybody see this? Because we don't need a close-up. Okay, great. Actually, this was done by the guy sitting on the floor over there, James. And we did one, if you scroll down pretty far, sorry, I do a lot of posting, there's an SMA one.
And what's the file format called?
That's, right now, because this is brand new, here we go. So if you scroll down, you'll see SMA, and I don't know if the cameras can capture that or not, but it's the same thing. And it uses the gyroscope of the phone to also move the object. So you can move with your finger, The desktop is just your mouse. You can move the object with the mouse. And it's just for engagement, you know? And this is going to get better. There's going to be more things. Right now, it doesn't support animation. Eventually, you're going to put animated three-dimensional live objects. So you can think of it in a way, you know, it's probably going to go down the gaming logic route, and you're going to be able to do like an Xbox-like experience within a post. So you'll be able to come up with campaigns that are game-like in 3D. The format is called, what is it, GNZ? GLT. We never heard of it before, and we know every format out there. So basically, all you do is you just Google Facebook 3D, and you'll find there are these binaries out there. It's not like an app you can download from the store yet. Eventually, it will be. You have to have a vector format of your logo. And the school would love to help you guys do this if you're interested. We'd make one of these for you. You can take my card and we can talk about it. And I can get my students, it'll be a good assignment for them, right? And then we can post it to social media. So what you do is you have to,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's completely live.
So I could see that being for not just logos, but a product where you want to see both sides of the product.
Sides of the product, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And honestly, I don't think they, you know, their first intention was the logos. We did that here just because we thought, you know, it would be cool to have SMA and 5 towns and stuff like that. But I agree. This is for when we start getting into the whole virtual reality, augmented reality, supplement. I mean, the whole world is getting so exciting with emerging technologies. And just to put another plug in, the program that we wrote in interactive computer graphics addresses these new creative endeavors that we can learn and hopefully make money at. So.
Until they make an app, so you got to get in as soon as you can.
Well, see, that's the
I was just going to say.
The app, that's a big thing to do.
I mean, this is off topic, but absolutely, what you really have to do is create lifelong learners. You have to create creative people that know how to adapt and keep moving with the time so they stay one step ahead of the curve, just like Live 3D, right? This is, I think this is 6 months this has been out. And depending on how much time we have, I brought a virtual reality 360 camera, and I'm going to take a picture of all of us. I'm going to put it on the page.
Why don't we do that?
Okay, you want to do it? Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what, while we're set, James is going to help me. While I'm doing it, why don't we do a little FAQ? Or should I just do this? It's up to you.
Well, I'll ask more questions up here. We'll do.
Okay, yeah, do that. Okay. So we'll put this, I think.
So it's kind of exciting, all the stuff that's, I mean, I could imagine, you know, at some point when you're having a meeting about a product or with your clients or with your agencies, whoever, that you're going to be saying, should we be doing some kind of virtual reality experience? And it's moving very quickly, but it'll be interesting. I remember, did you have the spectacles?
I had the glass, so
Google
yeah,
Glass.
I was like one of the original Google Glass Explorers. And I still have them. I actually still use them. They still work great, you know, giving you that first-person perspective. And yeah, we did the virtual, you know, the Google Glass reality show on YouTube. And yeah, I mean, that's a great way to go. And I think that it's not disappearing. I mean, Google Glass is still around. It's still for, you know, used in manufacturing and warehouses and stuff like that, even in, you know, medical environments. But, you know, wearables are becoming so incredibly big right now. I mean, it's just, you know, I was at CES, you know, 10 years ago, and it was just, you know, we started to see like all of these watches and headsets coming out, and now it's, you know, it's even bigger. I'm actually going this year. I'm like psyched about it.
If I can interrupt, I'm sorry. We're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So everybody, what we're doing now is we're gonna do a live demonstration, which is all nervous because it might not work, right? But you know me, I don't care, I'm never embarrassed. This is a 360 camera. It's relatively inexpensive. This one I got when it first came out, it was about $400, but now you can get these things for $100. It's two 180-degree two 180-degree fisheye lens cameras. So basically, it sees everything. So is there, do we have a monitor with this on it yet? Oh, okay. So if you look at, oh, it's on there? Okay, awesome. So if you look at that monitor, what's happening right now is I'm moving my finger and I'm looking at what the camera sees. And it's not on the monitor?
It's up on the TV.
Oh, it's up there? Oh, great, okay. So you can basically see, we have different ways of looking at this too. I'm going to hold your hand for a second, sorry. And let's go, which one did we like? So this is a good one. This is an actual view of both cameras. So what I'm going to be Vanna White right now. So you're going to see, as I walk around the camera, you're going to see me enter both frames, right? It's not magic. It's just, there are two cameras on there. Okay. What's that?
They switched to something else.
They switched it? They got, oh, okay. So.
Somebody needs to fix that.
What should we do? What do you want? You want me to do anything or? It's okay. I know who to yell at. It's all right.
So Paul, how would you use it though?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're back. We're back. Okay. We're back. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take the picture, but you guys, you have to play with me on this. There's gonna be a beep, beep, beep. On the third count, it's gonna take the picture. Okay, and I don't want to see these faces that are staring at me now. I want to see poses. I want to see like you looking like a model or kind of strike a pose. Can you guys like practice? Strike a pose, everybody. Come on, let me see. There you go. Look, there we go. Something fancy, and up here too. Okay, great. You're gonna appreciate it. If you don't strike a pose on your phones, you're gonna see yourselves like. And nobody likes that. I do this with high school students all the time. Okay, so you're ready? You're going to hear the 3 counts. You can strike your pose now, and at the point of 3, it's going to take the picture.
Okay. What?
Okay, now, we did it.
They did.
So what's happening now is that picture is on. Nope. That's not what we wanted to show. That picture is on that camera. So what we're going to do is this is the picture we just took. Can you see? Okay. And I'm going to hit the save button. And so now it's taking the picture and it's transferring it through Wi-Fi to the phone. But it's also doing something else called stitching. And stitching is really what makes this possible. It takes the 2 photographs that you saw, right? And it takes the edges and it puts them together, right? Okay, it finished. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to share this. I got it, I think. So I'm going to share this image, this 360 photo, to my Facebook page. And I guess Facebook? Where are you, Facebook? Anybody see it?
Yeah, way too many apps.
Too many apps there, guys.
I know. No, that was my story. I don't want to go to this. Oh, thank you. Isn't it awesome when you have like 100 people helping you do one thing, right? Okay, so I'm not going to write anything just to save time. I'm going to hit share. Okay. So it's uploading that photo to Facebook right now. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting there's a camera watching. And you can go on my shoulder if you want, if that's okay. It kind of feels comfortable like this. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Facebook page. And you guys can stay on the @ICGFTC. If you go there. So what I'm doing is I'm just going back to my regular personal Facebook page because that's where it gets uploaded. There it is.
Where is it?
So here's the photo, but what I'm going to do so you guys can see it, because we're not all friends, but you can friend me if you'd like. I'm going to share this. Can't quite see it, sorry. to my page and hit share now. Okay, so now if everybody goes to the, are you on the Paul Lipsky Chairman page? And refresh your screen. It might take a few minutes.
Show us from your phone.
So what's happening right now is, if you can see the monitor, this is a 360 photo. And by the way, my hands shake. I'm not nervous or anything. It's just
it's freezing.
You guys make me so nervous. This is what a 360 photo looks like.
Very cool. Very cool.
And what happens? Did everybody get it?
Mm-hmm.
So as I turn my camera, and all it is, it's a new, engaging way of creating social media content. Oh, look at that.
So
That was a good pose, James.
I'll ask our other panelists.
Does this give you any ideas? Is there anything that you could see using
Okay, go for it.
a 3D
No, I'm good. Thank you so much.
image for to be able to share?
I think tours. I mean, if you wanted to do a tour of a facility, a tour of a event that you're doing, I think that definitely works there. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I've been seeing them a lot, you know, on social, like when people go to travel, you know, tourism, that type of thing, and you go out and you see the entire landscape. You know, and you could look behind. I mean, also it reminds me of Cardboard Box too. You know, where when we all got the cardboard from the New York Times, and you're looking around, and you see the whole 3D experience through it. So, it definitely lends itself to a travel type of brand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was very interesting.
Did anybody get it? I'm curious. What's that? Oh, you went to my personal, I'm public, you're right. So if you just type in Paul Lipsky in the search engine, you'll see it. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you. I could see for certain industries, that could be really an interesting thing, or for sort of behind the scenes tour, you know, before an event, here we are at the whatever.
Right, you know, behind the scenes of the red carpet or whatever, you know, you can see, they're already using a lot of that technology.
Absolutely.
It's just, when does it become technology that all of us can use? I mean, you know, that's, the fact that your camera went from being $400 to whatever, to a lower price, it makes these things easier for us to do, is what
And
it
it's
does.
great for brands. I mean, like, think about like Zappos, where they have these tours in their Las Vegas offices, just being able to have a virtual tour and being able to see what's going on behind the scenes and getting that connection to the brands. I mean, that's what you want. You want to have that connection with brands, and brands want you to have a connection with them.
Right.
Where this is also being heavily used, Google has now opened up the Google Street View. So you can now take these types of photos, and a lot of professional photographers have found a new way of generating revenue, because restaurants, hotels, you know, now you can go from Street View when you're getting your directions and now walk into the residence, the place. And it's interesting how Google did it. Not that you have to earn a badge to be allowed to post to Google Street. You have to prove to them that you are a professional photographer and not just doing it as a hobby. So.
That's really interesting. I'd love to take some questions now. If we could maybe bring up the lights a little bit. I'm sure, you know, we've talked about some things, but there may be some things you're thinking about either as creators of content or people who are going to be using content. Does anybody have any questions?
You have to pass the mic, yeah.
Don't be shy.
I have kind of a legal question, and I imagine, like for example, for Girl Scouts, when somebody joins Girl Scouts, they probably sign some kind of a waiver that says.
We have
you can use
not
my
a waiver.
image.
They sign a release. They do sign a release. Yeah.
So what should we worry about? You know, if we're taking pictures out in public and we get people's faces in there, do we have to get permission, or is it considered okay because it's social media? What are the legal?
You really should get permission. You're better off protecting yourself than not, because you never know what's going on. And unfortunately, we live in a very society that loves to sue. So I would say always try to get permission. Obviously, you know, if you're at the Parthenon and you're on vacation and somebody is in the back of your picture, that may be hard to do.
It's really, I mean, if you're representing a brand, as Donna said, that's important. I mean, you want to protect yourself. I mean, even, you know, the pictures that you can buy online, you know, you make sure that you buy them, you know. Don't just take an image from Google, because you never know. Even if it's labeled free to use, you never know, you know, what's going to happen, so.
Oh, I could add to that. Just with Google image search, right? A lot of people use that. There is a new tool to pull down that will show you the copyrights on each image. So if you're looking for copyright free, make sure that you pull down that. It's a brand new tool. I've only seen it for a few months now, right? You go to tools under Google search, and then there's things like size, type, color, whatever. There's a new one now that says copyright. And
Yeah, but just be careful. But be careful anyway, because when you pull these pictures off, there are people out there who are surfing to sue you. So I know.
Oh, that's a good point.
Believe me, I know. And I don't want that happening to anybody. So.
I've seen that happen even
It's a very good point. I didn't think of
where
that.
somebody did it put it in a PowerPoint and didn't realize the PowerPoint was going to be made public. And yeah. So.
If you're out in the world, you know, and let's say you're in a public park and there's people in the picture, like, do you actually go up to the people and say, can I have?
Depends upon how are you going to use that. Are you using it for your personal use, or are you using it to represent your brand or your company or whatever? If it's for your brand or your company, you need to ask for permission.
So
if
that's
it,
a line.
there is a line.
Yes,
there.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Especially if it's going to be shared in multiple platforms or going to be used in multiple platforms. Absolutely.
But she's not a lawyer, so
yes, I'm
consult
not a lawyer.
one.
I do not.
Yeah, be careful giving out legal advice. But there is also,
It's kind of common sense.
On our website, sorry, I also don't my company puts on events, and on our website, we have it all over our website that by purchasing a ticket to our event, you are giving us permission to use your likeness and your photos in different aspects, and we have signs up at the actual event saying that. So if
That's
I buy
smart.
a ticket, they're giving us permission. So if it's a not completely public event in a park, but a ticketed event, something like that.
Good.
Hi, and working for the museum, we do a lot of things with students, college students, but we also do a lot of education programs in school districts. So it's something that we always have to do with the permissions, but also, I don't know if that's something anyone's tried as far as how school districts do, where they send out a package to parents in the summer, whereas they state that everyone is included unless you opt out.
That's right.
Unless you sign a waiver, and that may be easier than tracking people down individually. But the thing is, one of my challenges is I'm not necessarily at all of the programs because of the various things we're doing on campus. So it's ownership on the other staff to identify the kids that shouldn't be in it and move them to the side, because then you have the challenge of, you know, is there a likeness? Am I getting the kids from the back in action where you can't identify them? Or am I getting some kids with a face, and then if you're detached, you have no idea which kid is the one that shouldn't be, and rather be safe than sorry?
We spend a lot of time going through images and checking to see if we have a release, if there is a child that should not be photographed. When we're at programs or events and we're doing the photography, we will ask the troop leader, is there any girls in your troop that cannot be photographed? Because you know what, the world is full of parents who don't want their children on things, you know, and that's okay. That's, you know, and we take the caution that we have to. We won't not photograph her, but we won't use those photographs. You know what? Because you don't want to leave a child out. That's a different kind of effect that you want to have. You know, we want all girls to feel included, but at the same time, we now know that the little girl in the pink floral shirt is not going to be. Don't use those photos. You know, that kind of stuff. It's part of. Unfortunately, it's part of the world today. It really is. Great question, though.
Questions? I know you have one.
So you gave us a lot of good do's, but are there any don'ts? Have you had any bad experiences, or have you heard of anything that we really should
avoid or stay away from or worry about, other than the...
I could answer.
I mean, I think one of the things that's a biggie is look around. When you're taking photos, look around the person. You know, I think my first, and I always give this example in my digital communications class, I have a picture of me, my first triathlon. I'm so excited. I'm holding up my medal, and what's behind me? The urinals. So, you know, so what my advice would be to look around and make sure that the area is clear. And if you want that, you know, it to be messy in the picture, fine. But if you don't, if you want it to be polished, look around and see what it is that you want photographed, because I think a lot of people miss that. And you look at photographs and you see stuff that really shouldn't be there.
Oh, I actually took the question a little bit differently. Maybe you got it right and I got it wrong. But I've noticed that people sometimes rant in their social media. They complain, and I think that's the worst thing that you could do. I think social media is your face to the world, and if someone wants to find out, like hire you or find out what kind of person you are, and if they see you ranting or taking pictures of you drinking beer, I won't talk about my kids anymore, but I'm like,
people in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Potentially.
It's just, keep it smart. I mean, this is your face. This is who we are. And it's an awesome tool for getting name recognition out there. You could never do this in the past, right? And now we can. So keep it clean. That's my advice.
I do a lot of public performances, and a lot of people, I have a very unusual public performances because I play a lot of unusual equipment. And people, I do street fairs and things like that, and people, I get the cell phone salute, where people are actually coming up to me and going like this, and then going back, and then they're talking, whatever, like. And I feel that that's kind of free publicity for me. That's my attitude towards it. What my wife does is goes up to the person and gives a business card and it says, if you post this, can you tell us, where you are? I did a performance at the World Science thing about 8 years ago where I had no less than 10 people videoing they never asked me permission.
That's great.
And they just posted it. Some of them gave their posts, others not. It's a courtesy. I find it, if I'm in a public place, and if you're going to, photograph or video me, it's fair game. However, if I'm in a situation where it's a pay-to-play type of thing, like a venue, then things are a little bit different. And go ahead.
I just, first of all, I want to vouch for what Chris said. I know Chris Peters very well. To say that he does crazy performances is a complete understatement. I have some videos of him that will rock your world. What's that? Well, it's a good question, but here's my point. What you need is a hashtag. And maybe what you need is something strong and visual on you, right? If people are taking pictures and videos of you, hashtag yourself. I mean, maybe get a tattoo across your head. I'm only kidding. But at least this way, when they share that video, people can find you, right? So.
I don't know that was a question or just a statement that you were making, but.
It's a question and it's a situation where a lot of performers are faced with.
So if you read, there's a book that David Merman Scott wrote. I recommend this to my students at school. It focuses on the Grateful Dead, and they did it right. I mean, this is back in the 60s, 70s, when they went, gave concerts and asked people to share they were the first to really get involved in this social media game, right? And if you just emulate what they did, you will be famous. I mean, really, it's.
Well, if they can find you. right?
I think Paul's suggestion is great. You know, a lot of what we do when we're doing a girl event is, first of all, we make sure that our hashtags are clean, meaning that they're not going to be utilized by another organization in a different way. And then the other thing is we make sure it's visible in some of the imagery that we take. You know, is it on the wall? Is it in the materials that we're handing out? Is it someplace so that people are able to look at the hashtag after the fact?
Absolutely.
It makes sense that if you have a drum or something that you can plaster your hashtag on, put it on there because it's going to be in the image and it'll
Use
work.
your Twitter handle.
Yeah.
You know, get that out there. You know, let people know. I mean, when your wife is giving out those business cards, make sure that that Instagram, I mean, your Twitter handle is on there. Instagram.
Coming up on 27th. I do this thing for the Long Island Children's Museum. I've done it for like 13, 14 years. I'm part of the museum, but I'm in costume. And I can't put a hashtag on my costume because I'm working.
But you can hand out cards.
I can hand out my cards, but I'm on countless home videos. We have something like 1,500 patrons coming to it, and it's kind of, if you're a performing artist or if you're somebody who is in the public doing things and wants to be recognized.
Absolutely.
This is
Yeah, but today the general public knows about hashtags and they use hashtags and they use.
There's
these
nothing
things.
wrong with asking
them to recognize it.
Or somehow make it part of your costume.
I find that tacky.
Anyway.
There's no reason why
I'd
we
like
can't.
to, we're coming to the end. I'd love to get just one thing from each of you, one final thought about using visuals, something that you can tell people.
Do it, is what I'm going to tell you to do. You know, I mean, honestly, we used to be hesitant about it, and you shouldn't be. I think you just need to try. You need to see what works. And you do need to look at your analytics. Paul has mentioned it a couple of times. You do need to look at your analytics and see, when I do a series of ads on Facebook or on Twitter or whatever, we do several images, and we test those images. So we run them and we see what they look like and how people are responding to them. If the image isn't working, we take it down and we use the other ones that are. You have to look at the analytics. You have to be able to say it is working or it isn't, because you know what? The most beautiful pictures don't necessarily make for good impressions. They really don't, and that's important.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say it depends.
We constantly interrupt each other. We're like two peas in a pod. I just want to, before you guys go, I just want to say my ending words is everybody get your phones out, take pictures of us, and check in at Five Towns College. That's all I'm saying. Because that's what this is all about, right? Five Towns College, you know, we offer this facilities, and you can see we went to an tremendous amount of work to make this really successful.
It's awesome.
But we also want to get the social benefit from it. So if you guys, come on, I don't see anybody I see my friend Linda taking her phone out. Everybody take their phones out, take pictures of us. You don't have to tag us, just check in at Five Towns, and this way people know, right? This is how social media works. People know, hey, I didn't know Five Towns College has a broadcast television studio, right? And then you could put, I don't know, hashtag SMALI or?
What's our? SoMeSos.
And my takeaway is that this is a beautiful facility. Thank you very much, Paul, for hosting us. We really appreciate it. This is great. You guys have been great. And yeah.
Thank you.
I think we should really thank the students.
Absolutely.
You see everyone behind the camera.
Did a great job.
Oh, good. What you don't see is behind that wall over there is probably about $250,000 worth of equipment that runs all of this stuff. Wow. And you met Tom Calandrillo, who was here before. He's sitting there with microphones telling everybody what to do here. So thank them. And he's also very, very sick, but he still came in for this event.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, guys.
It's a lot of fun.
Thanks again to our panel. Thanks again to
A lot of fun, thank you.
We have some gifts of appreciation to our panel.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Girl Scout cookies?
Wow.
It's not Girl Scout cookie
Thank you
time
so
yet.
much. That was so cute. nice.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and Hershey's.
Mine's broken.
And chocolate.
Chocolate. Just
Perfect on my desk.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, SMA.
Very well.
It's a coffee cup with chocolate in it. My two favorite things.
Mine too.
please stick around and fill out the evaluation. Get your feedback.
Okay. What was this? I think it's out the door to the left.
Is there a code?
What's that?
Is there a code?
No code. That was only
Okay, awesome.
At Girl Scouts of Network Europe, and it's on storytelling and social media. So look out for your email box and social media for more info on that.
Oh, and I'll just also add, this might or might not have been Facebook Live. We're not quite sure. I've been checking, I was rude and checking my phone all the time. You can go to my Facebook and we will.
Five Towns College Radio. Playing your favorite hits. WFTU.